welcome back to FuturePrint TV. I'm joined by, this time, Neil Cook, who's Segment Marketing Manager at Fujifilm Ink Solutions Group. Welcome, Neil.
Thanks, Marcus. Good to be here.
Excellent, good to see you. And we just want to have a little chat with you about your background and your kind of view on things. So, if you could give us a little bit of introduction about yourself and what you do at Fujifilm Ink Solutions Group.
Okay, yeah, so at the Ink Solutions Group, I'm the Segment Marketing Manager for packaging and commercial print. So my role is to really identify the needs of the market, but also look at how we can then solve that industry's problem. So we understand that the market is very complex, and each of those subdivisions of packaging is very different. So it's really getting an understanding of what do we need from an ink to be able to satisfy that market and give them a performance and the opportunities they have. Right.
And your background, I believe, you've spent a lot of time within the packaging world, and you've got a pretty good understanding of the evolution and the changes.
Yeah, so a lot of my previous time has been spent further down the supply chain, actually, right, in the packing and filling of the product, and that was with domino printing, so that was all coding and marking. So only black normally, and maybe occasionally a bit of red and green if we're looking at eggs or cans. But then since then it's been through more to the electronic side of the inkjet systems, and now with Fujifilm at the ink side.
Yeah. So it's evolving a lot, isn't it, and developing and so on. How do you see within the business that you sort of digital supporting the corrugate industry specifically? Obviously, we're at Imprint alongside CCE, so there's a lot of corrugated technology here and so on. How do you see digital print really supporting that?
Well, I think digital is offering the corrugate industry a really exciting opportunity. The digital print isn't going to replace a lot of the printing within corrugate. If we look at the volumes involved, analog is still going to be a very dominant player for many years to come. But what digital is going to be able to do is it's going to be able to offer new business opportunities for customers. It's going to allow them to put more value into their product that they're selling, and also then fill some of the gaps that we're currently seeing around the world with supply chains. So whether it be some sort of imprinting capability for ingredients lists, barcodes, 2D codes, etc., or if it's going to be filling that gap between getting a customer order in and then being able to convert it to analog. It's going to be a big change in how people can operate, and hopefully get more money out of the market that they've got.
Yes, of course, enable it to grow. So it's not a trivial thing, is it, when you're developing an ink for applications are often both the opportunity but also the challenge, right? So tell us a bit about the kind of challenge of applications.
The number of substrates is the challenge at the moment, and even within a single type of substrate, whether it's board or a label, the variations within that, and this change with recycled materials being added to it changes the properties and the surface properties of those materials. So getting the adhesion you need, whether it's a pre-treat, really you've got to understand from what the customer or the OEM is wanting to print, how they want to print it, and really what the output is. Yeah. Once you've got that, we can then start working backwards in terms of understanding the drying requirements, the print head requirements, and then build from there the sustainability from within the inks as well.
Yeah, and with inkjets, I know that often that technology is developed and that the ink is clearly it's an integral part, but it's not always thought of at the beginning, is it?
Not at all.
So how do you deal with that? Because there often isn't an ink ready and waiting to go with a new thing, is there? Is it?
No, there's not. So we have platform inks available. To at least get people starting on that journey. Yeah. But you're right, a lot of the applications are going to require some project-based ink work, and that's what we're set up at the Fujifilm Ink Solutions Group to do. So we'll have a platform ink, and then from there we can then develop the ink which is tailored to that OEM, that application, and ultimately what the end customers are going to require. Yeah. The key thing that we ought to remember as well is that when we print it, that's not the end of the ink's life cycle. So we've got to start thinking as well about what's going to happen to that ink further downstream, both in the processing of the packaging itself. If we're going to fold a carton, do we need more durability? But then how the end users are going to use it, and then also what happens when it starts being recycled.
Right. Okay, interesting. And obviously with Fujifilm Ink Solutions Group, Fujifilm's a very well-known name, but you will work with a lot of different suppliers in the industry to develop inks and working on specific products. How do you How is it you work with people? What kind of customers do you work with?
So yeah, most of our customers we're looking at are our printer OEMs, but we also work with ink manufacturers as well, because we have aqueous dispersions in our RXD product. So we can supply our RXD technology to ink suppliers to allow them to then create their own inks for their own applications. And that could be an individual ink company, or actually some big printer OEMs now have their own ink divisions that they want to do. So we can supply either the full ink or a component of that ink to basically meet their demands and develop it with them, or if they don't need us, we're happy just to sell them the raw material and away they go.
Yeah, brilliant. And sorry, sort of finishing off with packaging in mind, then is, aqueous clearly the only real focus for that segment? Is a sort of health and safety and sustainability a key driver at the moment?
Yeah, I think that with packaging as well, because a lot of these units are going to go into multiple customers with multiple sub-customers, we've got to almost aim at the top end of what's going to be required. So yeah, there's a lot of indirect food contacts requirements required at the moment. Aqueous is seen as a better option for that, because of course you don't have the UV initiators, etc., within the inks. But there is still inks available with indirect food contact available, especially for the label sector, where it's popular. But yes, we go down towards the more corrugate way and folded carton, for example, and potentially into flexible packaging as well. The aqueous ink is seen to be by the market as the more preferred option.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Neil. Have a fantastic rest of your show, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.